Hi everybody, my name is Luis Vargas and now I'm going to talk about patching Dojo. Sometimes, or not sometimes, a lot of times, we need to patch the source code without modifying the source code. That means enhancing some libraries, but without modifying the libraries by itself. And how can we do that? And why do we do that? Why is because sometimes we don't have permission for licenses, and sometimes we just should wait for we only are testing for a new maybe a new version of Dojo or the library that we are testing. But how do we do that in Dojo? Before doing that, I'm going to show you what we do last time. Last time we just created instead of doing the layout and the widgets or creating widgets declaratively, we created a programmatically. It's a difficult word for me, sorry, I'm not English speaker, so that's why it's difficult. So in this one in main.js you can see that here we create this widget, for example. And that I told you that that's something that I don't like too much about Dojo, is that you need to use this a child every time that you want to add a new widget to the current element. But why do we need to do that? Couldn't it be true? To me it should be easier just adding something like children in here. Since we are adding children, then we from here, I need to put a comma, from here we should add the contents to this region, and from here we can do many, it should be easy, right? But in Dojo this one is not yet approved, so that's a reason why we should patch. And in that way we don't wait for the version to be patched. Until I understand, I submit this patching to Dojo, so if you want you can give a comment and say this is a good patching or something like that in the Dojo source code. So, I'm not sure if it's enough, but I'm continue doing some changes, and until I know I need to do some tests also, so some tests, sorry. So before that, we just can patch the code by the moment. So how can we achieve, or how can we use this without modifying the source code? Well, the one way could be just adding a new, what I'm going to do is just add a new folder, and then in that folder I'm going to create I'm going to call it custom, and also I'm going to call it in the same way that is going to be called, is being called the original code. So I'm going to call it digit. So I'm going to create this folder custom digit. What or why I'm going to modify right now? Okay, independence. By the way, I want to give my special thanks to James Ward, the creator of Wedgers, because he just added this library. And also I asked him for adding this, and he accepted, because the previous library doesn't use the source code directly. It uses a minified version of the code, which sometimes is difficult to use, and then that's why I prefer to use the source code directly. Furthermore, I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to download also the other dependency, Dojo website, I think. Let me look for it. Webcharts Dojo. Okay, this one is the previous version, or not the previous version, the version without the minifier version. Oh, sorry, this is the version with the minifier files. So for example, I'm going to open this one, digit, and you can see this dependency has two files, the uncompressed ones and the minified files or compressed ones. If you open one of them, you are going to see that this one is minified and it's completely almost impossible to follow this one. To me it's impossible. I say that almost impossible, but to me it's impossible. Maybe there is a brainer person that can do it. I cannot. So, and as you can see, we have the same one using uncompressed files. There is a way to hack this and use these uncompressed files, but I prefer to use only the source code. And also I want to comment that during the free release was a little mistake, and also you can see this version 1.9.4, but this version is not still have not still arrived to WebJars, and the real version is 1.9.3. so that's the version that you should use right now. Maybe in 3 months, when the version of Dojo get updated to version 0.4, you should also update using that, but by the moment we are going to use version 1.9.3. And I'm going to remove this one. Then I'm just going to add a new. So what I'm going to add, or why, as you can see, this is a border container. But what about if we want also to modify or add this children library that is not yet supported by Dojo, not only to border containers but also to content panes, content containers, tab containers, and other kind of containers that exist? Well, there is a common library or a common parent. If you open border container, I'm going to go to border container. It's under digit layout, so I'm going to open digit, okay, digit again, and I'm going to also set layout. So I think that is that one, and I'm going to open tab container. And as you can see, tab container inherit from tab container base. Tab container base is in here, or should be in here, no? Digit layout tab containers base should be tab container. What is that container base? I almost blind. Okay, and this one also inherit from a stat container. So stat container is in here, stat controller, stat container, and as you can see, a stat container inherit from two important widgets: widget base and layout widget, but also from, no, sorry, not that one. So this one is the important layout widget, and open layout widget. Layout widget give us three importance: widget, container, and contained. At the beginning I thought that I should put these children under widget, but if I put that, I'm not only going to affect the containers, I also going to affect buttons, and buttons are not containers. Text box, which are not containers also. You can say, but they can contain other stuff. Yes, but not these kind of containers. And also, and other stuff like I don't know right now, gouges and whatever. So the one that I should rewrite is this container. So I'm going to open this container. This container is under one up and container. Sorry, it's this one, one up and container. So one up is simple. If we are in Dojo, in digit, sorry, I just go to digit, and it's in here. It should be in here. and then it should be digit in here. Sorry, container, and it's in here. And now I should put these children in here. As you can see, it has children, it has, and somewhere else get children, add child, remove child, but it doesn't have children like a setter, sorry. So I'm going to add that. So how can I do that? Right, so this is where it's just creating a new JavaScript file, and I'm going to say container, the same name. I'm going to finish, and in here I'm going to define how it's going to be. Oops. Sorry. Then define, and the first parameter is the list of dependencies. In that case, it's only going to be 2 elements. The first one is going to be dojo slash base slash declare, and the second one, the second dependency is going to be, I'm going to use location dot href plus webjars slash dojo slash 1.9.3 slash digit and slash container dot js. In that way, I'm telling that it's going to look in the original container. So the original one is going to be dependency for the overriding one, or for the overrider. I'm not sure of this word. And then the function that weighs the libraries. Function declare, because it's declare and container. Declare and container. Okay, and finally the body of this function. Close with a semicolon, and I'm going to say something. I'm going to say children, and I'm going to say an empty array. I'm telling that this is being initialized as an empty array, and then I'm going to say post create, and then function params comma search no reference. And finally, I'm just going to post create function. What's happening? It's the error. Post create colon sorry, I forget that. So in here is declare, and the dependency, or sorry, not dependency, the extension of the parent, which is going to be container, and then the object that's going to handle or going to maintain the default values, which are those one. And now we have children and we have post create. I'm using post create because I could also use create, but I think that post create is better than create in that case. If not, it should be tested. I'm not completely sure about that. So if you think that is another one, just post it and tell me. It should be another one. Inherit. And as I told you in the first presentation, I'm going to use this function, this inherit, which assemble object-oriented programming, which is not native from JavaScript, but this one internally makes the monkey patching. You don't need to worry about that. And here I'm going to say arguments, and finally close that one. Maybe this one should be after, I'm not sure. Okay, and I'm going to say for bar in this dot children, I'm going to add every children. So I'm going to say this dot add child, this children of I, and that's it. That way now I can use okay, right now I cannot use it, but or what do I need to use this? Okay, I'm going to close everything, and from here I'm not going to use it right now. And in here in the index HTML we have this dojo config, which configure dojo, and in here I'm going to say that I'm going to use something called aliases. Aliases help us to create, as the name saying, alias. In that case I'm going to use these aliases as for monkey patching, not here, sorry, no monkey patching, for patching dojos or aliases column. And then in here I'm going to say this one is expect an array of an array of array, and the second array or the internal array expects an array of strings. The first is two strings, in fact. The first string is the original location, which is digit slash container, and the second one is the location that we want to override. In that case, location dot href plus custom, which is our custom digit container .js. And now we can use our code. Okay, I should also save that one. Right now we are going to have the same as before, but you are going to see that we are going to reduce the amount of code at the end, which make it, to me, easier to read and easier to debug, easier to program, whatever you want. To me, I love a rule that says less code, less errors, and I love that rule. There is another one, don't reinvent the wheel. In that case, we are reinventing the wheel. You should reinvent the wheel only if it is not enough. Okay, that's the error. I'm going to open the console to see what's the error. Custom digit container JS. That's weird. What's the name that I put? Container. Container. That's something that I love from NetBeans, that it auto refresh Chrome every time that I save it. Now this error says get captures dojo digit container JS not found. Okay. Oh, yes, of course I'm using now the source code, not the, so, oh no, it's in here. oh here, oh, sorry, here instead dojo it should be source. For avoiding this problem, we should create two variables, but I'm not going to do it right now, or maybe later. We should create two variables, which are this one, which maintains dojo, we can call it dojo base URL, and we should create another base URL, not base URL, base location. That's maybe better. Or base reference. So in here I can say this children, I can pass the list of children. That the first one is going to be this content pane. I'm going to copy, and now that's something that's the beauty of this. I can say inside this one, as if I will program in HTML. Oops, sorry, no, not that one. Now I can say comma children, and into those children I just need to pass an object, sorry, an array, and inside this array I need to pass the children's. Comma for the new one, comma for the new one, and finally the third one. Sorry, a child content pane. Okay, and to this child it adds the accordion container. No, sorry, that's not the first one. This should be the I'm going to copy this one. It should be like this. Just mess up everything. This one is the first content pane, the second one is going to be the accordion. The third one is going to be the tab container. Just that one. Then this tab container is going to contain 3 tabs. This way it's also a declarative wave. I prefer that way, it's shorter, and also is best order. Oh, we forget one. In here are the 3 tabs. New content pane, as you can see, there are these 3 tabs. New content pane left, new content pane right, middle, sorry, and finally new content pane right, which is empty right now. And in here I'm going to say title left and children. This function, sorry, I'm thinking other stuff. And this one also is going to have children. I'm just going to copy. And then I just need 2 more for this one. I'm just going to finish this one before continuing. the right and the bottom. I always forget. Okay, that's it. And now we just need those two. The first one, which is a new first title some widget. Another advantage is that we don't need to worry about the names of the variables. The variables have been used before, and it's, to me, it's, I don't like to be naming variables, because at the end you should change many parts if this variable changed. So I don't like that too much. Finally, what's that one? CCP. You see, the CCP, I don't know what is that, and it's more difficult to follow. Content pane, and inside, oops, Control C, content pane is left. This one is going to be new content pane, and inside this content pane I'm going to add these children. Now looks more HTML than JavaScript, but it's great. And here, children, the comma, and finally validation form, which is the one that we created before. And now I think that it's complete. Yep. I'm going to comment that because sorry, not till that, till here, to test if everything works. I know that this could be a little bit boring because it was too much, but a little bit confusing, but maybe I should explain that at the end. Let's see if it's working. Okay, after a big while I found the problem, and the problem was that, sorry for that, the problem was that we forget, or I mean one of the problem was that we forget a return here, and this there is also another problem. It is not quite explicit. It's too difficult to understand. Okay, so that's something bad about using the source code directly, that is a little bit slower. And as you can see, it says cannot read property dir of undefined. This is dumb geometry and dumb query. If you read this, I mean, if I read this, I don't have any idea about what does that means, but I found it. I found it because I just removed this abuse main in here by mistake. I didn't know that, and magically it works. But why it works? The problem is that those creator news wait for the don't be finished. So as you can see, it's working partially because oh yeah, I know, this one should be at the left, not at the top. If you put more than one at the top, all of them are going to be piled at the top, and it doesn't matter. But this one, I put it at the top, that's why it's at the top, but that's not the problem, not a problem at all. So how can I solve this abuse main auto required? To solve it, just add it in here, and in this main.js I should add dump ready dojo done ready, and that should solve the problem. Before saving, I'm also going to change this container to left, and this also left, and this also left. Ctrl Shift S, we save that. Oh, of course, I'm going to add those two. By the way, this one has one more content than I need, so I'm going to delete one. I think that's enough. And now it should works. And here we can see all elements that are being required. And if you profile this application, you are going to see that most of the time it's being requiring libraries than the time that it took to parse this view. So is there another way to doing this? Maybe, but this one is good. So here we go, everything works. You see? So that now we can just delete the comments. Another way could be create this after post create, so these children or those elements are going to be created after post create, but I don't like too much that idea because it's more a little bit more ugly, and I just don't like it. And also in the index HTML, I'm not going to need this anymore. And now our application is shorter than before. As you see, I don't need to name this as a content pane, this one as a dot container, don't need a new bar. I just need a dot container, then inside that container add another content pane, and so on. This way I like it more because it's shorter, and most of the time shorter means also faster. Most of the time, not always. Shorter also means less code, less errors. Most of the time also. Everything works. Next video I'm going to show you how to create a grid. So that's it for today. Have a good day. I hope that you like it. Don't forget to comment if you have any question. And thank you.